Welcome back to the channel. If you care about how much the YZ125 costs, stick around. If not, go watch another video. I'm using this as my personal chair here, since my entire shed here is just completely full of parts, snow bike stuff. Just kitted this up with the FMF. So lots going on, and I'm trying to start the build on the CR125. Before you see this one, you'll probably see a couple other pit bikes and another newer bike that I'm going to freshen up as well. So always lots of content coming. I know I've been slacking a little bit. Hopefully you enjoyed the last build, the KTM. I think that turned out pretty good. We got a pretty good feedback from you guys as well. Speaking of feedback, I'm gonna read some comments from the last YZ125 video I put up. First off, the reason we're doing this video is to do a cost breakdown and wrap up all the issues and everything that we had with the 125. And like so many of you commented on the last video, what was the total cost and how much money did you make? What does a rebuild like this cost? How much rebuild cost? Missing some words. How much? Question mark, question mark. How much did everything end up costing? Would it be worth just buying a new bike instead? Should have painted the frame, should have painted the frame, should have painted the frame. And then here's a little smart ass comment here. How much did you spend? Like 20 bucks? Well, don't you worry, we're gonna break that all down today. Another thing that I am very well aware of is, bro, it bogs. Bro, clutch slipping. The clutch is slipping. Dude, the clutch is slipping. Your clutch is slipping. Running rich, running lean. It's running too rich. It's running too lean. It's running too lean. Dude, it bogs. Clutch is definitely slipping. It doesn't sound right. Jetting is off. If you would have taken just like half a second to read the description about how it was the absolute first ride that I'd ever taken on the thing, and the clutch needed major adjustment. Okay, didn't need to replace it, but it needed major adjustment at the cable as well as down at the engine. The issue as far as bogging, the air mixture screw was turned pretty much all the way out, and then I also, on top of that, right at the header, had a slight leak. So dealing with some issues there, and all that combined, along with the jetting most likely being done for somewhat low elevation, like 1,500, 2,000 feet, and where I tested it out was pretty high elevation and pretty cold temperatures. The jetting just left it the same because I'm not going to be riding it in my area. And then, like I said, adjusted the clutch and fixed that exhaust leak, and then dealt with the mixture screw, or whatever you want to call it on the two-stroke. It might just be called the air screw, not sure. Anyway, let's dive into how much this thing costs, starting with the bike itself. 800 bucks, that's how much I got it for. And basically, when I got it, you know, it was pretty trashed. It was pretty trashed. It did need quite a few things replaced, but on top of that, it also had some, you know, aftermarket parts, which added a little bit to it. But it also had a brand new ported and polished head, along with new top end, all basically brand new, you know, an hour or two on them. So it was kind of like, yeah, 800 bucks. That's all right for a running bike with some work done to it, but also is trash. It didn't have a title. I had to go get a title. So the bike, 800 bucks, gas to go get it, 40 bucks, title fee, 10 bucks. And after that, it sat in my shed for a long ass time until I got to it. Next, we got some eBay foot pegs. You know, they looked all right. Looked like you'd get some good grip on them. I didn't see anything really negative about any of the reviews or anything. So hopefully those hold up. But those $57.99 for the pair. Everything else aftermarket was pretty much like 150 bucks plus for a set of foot pegs, because they're all fucking titanium Raptor claw, freaking just overkill for what you needed. And then any type of OEM stuff, those were all just worn out on eBay. So went ahead, got a new chain, $53.99, a new front fender, $19.99, new shift lever, $25.95. Just a new number plate since the old one was basically sunburnt, cracked. You could basically snap the plastic. That's got for $19.99. A new brake lever, $12.59. The original was just bent, nice curly Q on it. Petcock repair kit, that was $17.99. Luckily the repair kit solved all our problems. Basically all the seals were just rotted, and so it would just leak gas. I forget the brand I put on there, but I'm pretty sure they were just the no waffle grips and black in color, $8.99. A new carb hose kit, $7.99. The original was just, I mean, you could take those hoses and snap them. They were so nasty. The chain guide, $22.99. That, it wasn't worn through all the way to where it was, the chain was chewing away at metal, but it was very, very close. The shock repair kit. The rear shock on this thing was completely blown, and the bumper was basically almost crumbling away. Unfortunately, these kits cost quite a bit, $80.95. The Mika Metals bars, $50. I think that was a sale on those, but the black bars worked really, really nice. The fork cover sets, $23.99. The old ones were basically spray painted black and then graphics put over the top of that. So I'm not gonna dick around with cleaning those up. I'm just gonna throw those in the garbage and get a new set. And just all white, no graphics or anything on them. Some KYB stickers to toss on the side of the forks. That kind of, you know, made things look cool. $8.99. Next, our linkage bearing kit. Another item that's always pretty high priced. $71.63. The linkage on this thing was so crusty, wasn't even funny. It's probably one of the worst linkages that I've taken apart. Now that being said, the swing arm, that must have been taken off and some new bearings put in that at some point in time. But the linkage was absolute garbage. Just some OEM bolts that were missing, you know, throughout, that I didn't have any laying around. $4.06. Along with that rear shock, need to get it charged with nitrogen. One day while I was in town, stopped by a repair shop, and they did that for $10, so not bad. Then lastly, the radiators. I had taken those off, straightened them out, fixed them up, I guess while trying to repair those and, you know, hammer them back into place as best I could. One of the walls there broke, and obviously once I started it up, after everything was all mounted up, that's when coolant was spewing everywhere. So that sucked. Went ahead with the good old GPI radiator set for $70. And that was the entire cost of the bike. So adding all that up is $1,443.07. Not bad. Put close to $650 into the bike. For what I was seeing on Craigslist for these early thousands Yamahas, I wasn't very confident that I was gonna get a whole lot of money out of it. But I ended up posting it on Craigslist for close to like $2,500 to start out, just to see if anybody would nibble on that, because there were some clapped out YZ125s that I saw, like 99, 2000, even earlier. People listing those for $2,000. Like, I doubt anybody ever really bought those. They're probably still on Craigslist. So anyhow, to give you a good idea of, I'll throw the KBB and NATA values up there. From when I bought the bike, KBB, excellent, $1,525, and good, $985. The NATA, they don't really like the YZ125. The average price, $485, and low, $370. So those, they can play a factor. A lot of times, older bikes like that, you're just gonna have to look at the current market of what's out there and what things are selling for. I was figuring probably $2,000 is what I was gonna get out of this bike, and starting at $2,500 and discounting that over, like, I don't know, close to 3 months, I want to say. It took me a long time to get rid of this bike. Now I won't say I wasn't getting any offers, because about every other day somebody wanted me to trade for their clapped out whatever they had. I don't know, it's something about this bike that attracted everybody and anybody without any money. So that was a pain in the ass. So I did end up selling this earlier this year. I think I had the bike listed at like maybe 1950, I think. That's where I was sitting at. And somebody contacted me that actually wanted to show up and look at it. And so they came, took a look at it, and basically ripped it up and down the road hauling ass. And it sounded really, really good, especially wide open. The thing was pretty awesome. But anyway, negotiations, and ended up selling this thing for $1,820. So not ideally what I wanted, but still, I guess there's a profit there. Probably not worth my time, but it was fun working on it, I guess. I got to take into hand that I'm at least learning about all these different bikes, and then also, you know, learning to rebuild different components on each of these bikes as well. So I mean, how much is knowledge worth, you know? $1,443.07 into the bike, sold it for $1,820. Profit, do the math, $376.93. And like I said, it's all right, nothing crazy. But there's not a whole lot of wiggle room, especially when you buy a bike like that, where there's so many things that you have to rebuild just to get it back to somewhat normal. And like, I mean, if I would have bought a new header pipe for that, that would have been, I don't know, 150, 200 bucks, and would have made like $100 profit, and that would have that wouldn't have been any good. As much as I wanted to paint the frame on that and buy a new header pipe, I mean, it would have looked so amazing, but my return on investment in that stuff wouldn't have probably got me $10 more on my my sale price. So you just got to have a little self-control on what you want to do to the bike, and if you can pimp it out a little here and there, go for it. But if you're throwing money at it just to throw money at it, you're not going to come out with any type of profit. So anyway, that wraps that up. Like I said, if you haven't watched the KTM build, that one's pretty sweet. Go take a look at it. And obviously all the other builds on the channel, if you're a newer sub, go check those out as well. They're just as good as all these other ones. So that's all I got for you. Hope you enjoyed. As usual, down in the description, affiliate links, possibly some other links that take you elsewhere. And lastly, links to Wild Moto shop. You can grab some cool decals there. And then also Wild Moto on Instagram. Just hit 1,000 followers there. Just trying to build that fan base, build this fan base. Hopefully we can continue to grow, and hopefully a lot more builds to come in the future, along with customized builds on my own bike. And then soon I'll have some CR250 action as well. I gotta balance that with actually riding these things and getting some use out of them, so I don't have just a bunch of garage queens. And now that I took more of your time, I'm done now. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.